what we have is what Attorney Cox described is we're going to have a deadbeat taxpayer on a very large piece of property that is taxable, and a decision that says even though it's taxable and you owe the taxes, Plymouth Township, Wayne County, State of Michigan, school district, you don't get any. You don't have any right to enforce that tax on the city, or you don't have any right to collect that tax. You have the right to assess it and levy the tax, but we're taking away your right. We're taking away any mechanism you have for collecting those taxes, and I don't think that's fair because it wouldn't apply to me. It wouldn't apply to you, Bob. It wouldn't apply to anybody in this room, but it applies to the city of Detroit.
So you're going to go to the...
And we are, excuse me, I have the floor.
Please finish.
And
I thought you were finished.
All right. Go ahead, Madam Clerk.
It would apply to everybody in this room, but it doesn't apply to the city of Detroit. And that is a very large parcel that is going to continue to be, tax-free to the city, even though it's not using it for a public purpose.
May I speak?
Trustee Dorshevitz.
I mean, it becomes, that's emotional. It's just an emotional argument. It's not a legal argument because it's all based on emotion.
I don't know,
because,
taxes are down.
Because are you going to argue to the Supreme Court is part of the case that they should be paying back taxes for 5 years? Because it's not going to matter. A year from now, it's not one of the essential points of law that you've articulated tonight. So it doesn't really matter. A year from now, they're still not going to pay the back taxes. What's the difference? Let them sell it. Give them the land back. Let them sell it. They sell it 3 months from now. The new owner will pay taxes on it. Cool. We're good. We're ahead.
Or they could hold on to it for 10 years.
Pardon?
Yeah, they hold on to it for 10 years.
Maybe.
Continue to make money off it.
Maybe
and
not.
not pay their taxes. I pay my taxes.
But it's not going to matter either way,
I have to pay
Mike.
my taxes.
All right.
You have the same outcome either way.
Trustee Kelly, you have the
If we
floor.
spent what was it, 5 or 10,000 to file the appeal?
It's more than 5.
It's $10,000 to file the application with the Supreme Court, an additional $15,000 to argue, submit the briefs.
To take it once it gets up
Right.
to the docket on trial.
Right.
So if you filed, and you say that gives more leverage, could we file the appeal and revisit this in 30 or 60 days and decide if we want to cut it?
But we never
Sure,
do.
we can
never
revisit it
do.
anytime.
We say that and then we don't.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We would do that. Set it for 60 days, and if there's no agreement, we have to come back and decide, are we going to cut it now or continue? Because I'd give them 60 days, but if they're not going to come to another deal, how long have we been negotiating now?
Just
And
since those 2 weeks, right?
Mr.
And
Bennett, I'm
2 weeks.
going to ask you to put your other hat on for a second as our counsel for the board. Could a board member make a motion, put in their motion that authorizing to submit the application to the Supreme Court with the township board having a review within 60 days and deciding whether or not to continue to move forward?
That's conceivably possible, yes.
But we could do that anytime, right?
Well,
Yeah,
I
I'm
put
just
it in
saying,
the
I'm
motion
just
that
saying
we
you
would-
can make it as
We
part of
never
the motion
do.
so it's in the
Well, I
public
put a
record.
motion that it would come back up in 60 days.
But we don't. We don't do it.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
To address Trustee Kelly's question, because it kind of does fit. There is an incentive for Detroit to kick this down the road because they have 190 acres. And I think Trustee Kermey used the figure 50,000, maybe it was a different date or earlier today, but let's say it's 50,000 an acre. That means there's $9 million. Is that right? No, 50,000 times 190. There's $9 million that they can't sell or access as long as they're in litigation with the township. So I would argue that there is some pressure on them because they're potentially letting $9 million sit for another year. The interest alone on $9 million for 1 year isn't too far off the number that was bandied about here that would be acceptable.
You're assuming there's a buyer, though, with a check for $9 million. What-
Mr. George said it's only going by your hypothetical. May I sit down?
No.
Hey, Mr. Trustee Kelly, you had the floor, by the way. We
No, that's
kind of
what
went back
I
and
would
forth.
only support it with a revisit in 30 or 60 days.
Well,
If not,
Okay.
you don't-
Any
it won't
further
happen.
discussion? All right, no discussion. Would someone like to make a motion, not make a motion?
I move to, that we, I move that we approve the filing of the application to appeal to the Supreme Court and revisit the matter in 60 days, in whatever meeting falls closest to 60 days.
support.
Okay, motion and there's support. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Motion carries. Pardon? Next item on the agenda, sorry? It was 3-2.
So it passed.
It passed.
Yes.
The motion carried.
Can we do a roll call vote?
Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Nancy Comzelman, yes. Shannon Price?
Yes.
And Trustee Kermy?
No.
Trustee Dorchevitz?
No.
Motion carries. I move to adjourn.
There's a motion to adjourn.
Support.
Motion and support. All in favor of adjourning, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Ayes have it. We adjourn. Thank you.